Food and Movement, Module number 19, Raw Food and Back on Track. Back on track. Life happens, sometimes due to circumstances beyond our control or otherwise. We become sedentary and stop getting the recommended amount of daily or weekly exercise. Chances are you're reading this while perched in a chair. And if you're like most computer users, you've been there for a while. Consider how much you sit in a day, driving during your morning commute to an 8-hour-a-day desk job, and then unwinding on the couch in front of the television all evening. What's more, do you depend on email, cell phone apps, and direct deposit paychecks and online shopping to accomplish tasks that 10 or 20 years ago would have required you to get up and run some errands? If so, then you may have sitting disease, a catchy phrase for a sedentary lifestyle that might be putting your health at risk. NEAT. Activity is good for you, and not just the kind that makes you sweat. Activity makes us smarter, happier, and more successful. Activity helps to relieve symptoms of depression and anxiety. Activity also creates better sleeping habits and enhances self-esteem. There are 2 types of activities: exercise and NEAT. Don't try to go from a couch potato to a marathon runner in a week. Experts recommend that you add 10% onto your activity each week without overdoing it or pushing too hard. Small changes will add up to big results without the stress. Don't do activities you don't enjoy, and make a commitment to yourself that you will only participate in the workouts you enjoy. Research shows that how you define yourselves makes it easier to both embrace new habits and to pick up after a challenge to your routine. Think, I enjoy playing sports versus I am an athlete. I enjoy and often achieve my goals versus I am a high achiever. Your metabolism is always working to burn energy. During periods of higher activity, your body will burn more calories than when you are at rest. Note, a calorie is just a measure of a unit of energy, technically speaking. It's the energy required to heat 1 liter of water by 1 degree centigrade. But even at rest, your body is always expending energy. How you burn energy or expend calories, which is called the total daily energy expenditure, or TDEE, can be organized into 3 distinct categories. Basal metabolic rate, BMR, also known as resting metabolic rate, or RMR, is the amount of energy the body uses to support the functions of the organs and physiological systems, and comprises approximately 60 to 75% of TDEE. The 3 organs most responsible for burning calories at rest are the liver, brain, and skeletal muscle, which burn 27, 19, and 18% of the RMR respectively. It's worth noting the brain alone uses about 1/5 of your RMR, which helps explain why you don't think as clearly when you're hungry. The thermal effect of food, or TEF, is the energy the body uses to convert food into more energy, or to move it to a location to be stored as fat for use at a later time. And that makes up about 10% of your daily energy expenditure. The thermal effect of physical activity, or TEPA, accounts for the remaining energy expenditure, about 15 to 30% of daily energy output. Included in this number is the excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, or EPOC, which is the amount of energy the body burns after exercise to return to its normal state. When it comes to TEPA, there are 2 different types of activity: planned exercise and the spontaneous non-exercise activities that occur every time you perform some sort of physical exertion, such as standing up from a seated position or running to catch the bus. While exercise is an important form of physical activity that can burn hundreds of calories at a time, other forms of physical activity, called non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT, can play a significant role in helping to maximize the total amount of calories you burn in a single day. Here are 6 things to know about NEAT and how it can help you reach your health and weight loss goals. 1. Lipoprotein lipase, LPL, is an enzyme that plays a critical role in converting fat into energy. Remaining sedentary for long periods of time can reduce levels of LPL. Conversely, using NEAT to move consistently throughout the day can help sustain LPL levels and help the body maintain its ability to burn fat. 2. Standing can make a difference. A growing body of evidence shows that sitting still for too long can be hazardous to your health. Simply standing is one form of NEAT that can help increase your daily caloric expenditure. 3. Daily steps add up. The U.S. Department of Health has been promoting a 10,000 steps a day as an achievable goal for daily physical activity. Even if you don't make it to 10,000 steps, adding extra steps to your day is an important component of NEAT that can burn calories while adding health-promoting activity to your life. 4. Walk or cycle for transportation. Have you ever been stuck in traffic during your commute and thought, there has got to be a better way? By choosing to walk or ride a bike for your daily commute, you can burn significant amounts of energy during an activity where most people spend their time sitting. If you take a bus or a train as part of your commute, getting off a stop or two early provides a great opportunity for some extra walking. Most errands are run in close proximity to home, so when you need to make that quick run for baking supplies and time allows, walking to your destination is a great way to increase your NEAT. 5. There is cleaning, and then there is getting ready to host a party or have your mother-in-law over for dinner cleaning, and we all know the difference. Doing additional tasks around the house or putting a little extra effort into your daily chores can be a great opportunity to increase daily NEAT. 6. Play with your kids. In this modern era of having an app for everything, there is no app for spending extra time with your kids. If you can carve out even a few minutes for playing catch, kicking a ball, or walking down to your neighborhood park, you will be spending precious time with your offspring while racking up NEAT. An additional benefit to playing is that it can also help boost neural activity and cognition. So not only are you burning a few more calories, you could actually be increasing your brain function as well. If losing weight is your primary reason for exercising, NEAT is an essential component of that objective. 1 pound of body fat can provide approximately 3,500 calories worth of energy. Increasing NEAT by 200 calories, about the equivalent of walking 2 miles, while also making healthier nutritional choices to reduce caloric intake by 300 calories, the equivalent of a 12-ounce soda and a small bag of potato chips, equals about 500 fewer calories a day. If you do that 7 days a week, you will quickly reach the amount of calories necessary to eliminate a pound of fat. While seemingly small, making the effort to change your daily habits by adding more NEAT along with reducing overall caloric intake creates a foundation for long-lasting weight loss success. You may be struggling with finding the workout motivation to make fitness a part of your daily routine. Conventional wisdom hasn't been particularly helpful in figuring out how to get in the groove and become that person who says, "I'll meet you for brunch later, gotta fit in my run first." You're told that you have to want it enough, or that you have to do something 21 days in a row before it becomes second nature. But then what do you do on the 29th day when it's raining outside and you're dying to skip your run and sleep for another hour instead? Fitness motivation made easy. Fortunately, economists and psychologists have been studying how to crack the code of what compels us to repeatedly do something we don't always want to do. And here are some of their best strategies to boost workout motivation. 1. Give yourself a real reward. Sure, some people might be motivated by vague goals such as better health or weight control. But if that's not doing it for you, journalist Charles Duhigg, author of The Power of Habit, Why We Do What We Do in Life and Business, advises making the benefits of working out more tangible, such as by treating yourself to a smoothie or an episode of Game of Thrones afterwards. An intrinsic reward is so powerful because your brain can latch onto it and make the link that that behavior is worthwhile. He describes creating a neurological habit loop, which involves a cue to trigger the behavior, setting out your spinning shoes next to your bag, the routine, making it through spinning class, and then the reward. An extrinsic reward is so powerful because your brain can latch onto it and make the link that the behavior is worthwhile, he explains. It increases the odds that the routine will become a habit. Over time, the motivation becomes intrinsic as the brain begins to associate sweat and pain with the surge of endorphins, those feel-good chemicals released in the brain that are responsible for that I feel freaking amazing rush you get after a great gym session. Once you've trained your brain to recognize that the workout itself is the reward, you won't even want that treat. 2. Sign a commitment contract. We can make promises to ourselves all day long, but research shows we're more likely to follow through with pledges when we make them in front of friends. You can up the ante even more by signing a contract, agreeing to pay a pal $20 every time you skip Pilates. It's a simple notion of changing the cost, explains Jeremy Goldhaber-Fibert, PhD, assistant professor of medicine at Stanford University, who studies health decision science. I say I'm going to make a commitment to do something for a certain amount of time, such as exercising 30 minutes 3 times a week for 12 weeks. If I don't do that, I'm going to pay some kind of penalty, whether it's monetary or the embarrassment of having friends know I didn't live up to my word. 3. Rethink positive thinking. Devotees of positive thinking have long promoted visualizing the benefits of a behavior as a motivational strategy. For example, when I'm deciding whether to get out of bed to go running in the morning, it helps to imagine how the sun will feel on my face as I run around the reservoir, or how delighted I'll be when I see my new muscles developing. After identifying your wish and visualizing the outcome, you have to identify what's holding you back, a technique she calls mental contrasting. In one study of 51 female students who claimed they wanted to eat fewer junk food snacks, researchers asked each woman to imagine the benefits of nibbling on better foods. Those who identified the trigger that made healthful snacking difficult for them and came up with a plan to reach for fruit when cravings hit were most successful at sticking to their goal. Feel too tired to go to the gym after work? After you imagine the obstacle, you can figure out what you can do to overcome it and make a plan, explains Odigen. For example, you can switch to morning or lunchtime workouts or go straight to the gym instead of shopping at home first. 4. Find your fitness tribe. Let's face it, no one can pay you to do more squats, rack up more miles, or lift heavier. And science proves it. Researchers in a recent study from the National Bureau of Economic Research found that rewarding new gym members with a $30 or a $60 gift card for exercising made little to zero impact on their workout motivation. While it might sound like a sweet deal to get paid to sweat, what will ultimately inspire you to get up and start moving is a strong, supportive community. The laughs, high fives, and words of encouragement from the bonds people make are things money simply can't buy. From CrossFit boxes to run gyms to yogi circles, there's a fitness squad for everyone. Find a workout that makes you feel good and surround yourself with people that help build your confidence as much as your strength. The cost of putting yourself out there, priceless. Raw food. The raw food diet has been around since the 1800s, but has surged in popularity in recent years. Its supporters believe that consuming mostly raw foods is ideal for human health and has many benefits, including weight loss and better overall health. The raw food diet, often called raw foodism or raw veganism, is composed of mostly or completely raw, unprocessed foods. A food is considered raw if it has never been heated over at 104 to 118 degrees Fahrenheit. It should also not be refined, pasteurized, treated with pesticides, or otherwise processed in any way. Instead, the diet allows several alternative preparation methods, such as juicing, blending, dehydrating, soaking, and sprouting. Similar to veganism, the raw food diet is usually plant-based, being made up mostly of fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. People follow the raw food diet for the benefits they believe it has, including weight loss, improved vitality, increased energy, improvement to chronic diseases, improved overall health, and a reduced impact on the environment. Eating raw foods preserves natural enzymes in foods, retaining their natural nutrient content. How to follow the raw food diet. To follow the raw food diet, make sure at least 75% of the food you eat is raw. Most raw food diets are made primarily of fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Grains and legumes are often permitted as well, but usually need to be soaked and sprouted before you eat them. Foods to eat: all fresh fruits, all raw vegetables, raw nuts and seeds, raw grains and legumes sprouted or soaked, dried fruits and meats, nut milks, raw nut butters, cold-pressed olive and coconut oils, fermented foods like kimchi and sauerkraut, seaweed, and sprouts. Foods to avoid are cooked fruits, vegetables, meats, or grains, baked items, roasted nuts and seeds, refined oils, table salt, refined sugars and flour, pasteurized juices and dairy, coffee and tea, alcohol, pasta, pastries, chips, and other processed foods and snacks. Unless you're sick, transition slowly. Start with lemon water in the morning, a green juice daily, and get rid of everything in your pantry, refrigerator, and freezer that is processed. Start buying fresh, organic, and seasonal vegetables and fruits. Learn a few recipes, and then aspire to learn a new recipe each week. You could start with lunch and breakfast being raw and dinner being cooked. Soon you'll feel the difference in the foods you eat, and the transition from there will be natural and by preference. Eating raw seems to eliminate cravings and overeating. You're satisfied by your raw meals. Eating raw foods demands an investment of time. Your foods are fresh, so they need to be purchased close to the time you eat them. They require preparation time and organization. That means planning ahead and several trips to the market each week. Technology and food delivery makes this a little easier. Raw foods require different tools for preparation. Juicers, blenders, knives, dehydrators, and food processors make life easier. You won't need your stove or oven. The truth is, starting out, all you need is a